Thank you, Pablo, and thank you, Alborada, for hosting this event. And thanks also to Friends of Highgate Library for promoting it. And hello, everyone. Thanks so much for coming to this virtual launch of my book here, this experimental online launch. It's so nice of you to join me this afternoon. And I know there's lots of old friends and then plenty of new faces. One of the nice things about doing it online is that people from all over the world can join us. So, hola amigas, amigos en Chile, Argentina, Colombia, creo, Venezuela. Gracias por asistir a este evento virtual experimental. Bienvenidos. On to the first question. The first thing I really wanted to say was how much I enjoyed writing and researching the book. It threw up all sorts of questions that I hadn't really expected. What goes on behind the closed doors of government? Can we, the public, people concerned about human rights, can we affect British foreign policy? Can we persuade our government to pursue an ethical foreign policy? What power do we, the public, have vis-a-vis big companies? So these were the sort of broad questions it threw up. But onto your specific question, Pablo, I came up with the idea because I knew Margaret Thatcher's government had sold arms to the Argentine dictatorship and had had a much more friendly relationship with that regime than all the rhetoric around the Falklands War would suggest, all the rhetoric about standing up to the junta and so on. And of course, I expect you all know that Margaret Thatcher had a very close relationship with the Pinochet regime. And the documents in the British archives, the British government documents were just being opened, were being declassified. So I wanted to have a look at them and explore the military, commercial and political links between Britain and those dictatorships. For example, the finance minister of the Argentine dictatorship, José Martínez de Hoz, came to Britain 4 times in the years before the Falklands War. He met Margaret Thatcher in Downing Street in 1980. They had a very cordial meeting. So I wanted to sort of lay out the evidence for these links. And I found lots of fascinating material, quite shocking material in the archives, some of it which we can talk about today. It's in the book. But I was really horrified to discover, I noticed some gaps in the archive, and I did a Freedom of Information request. And I found out that more than 300 files, so not 300 documents, but 300 folders full of documents, have been destroyed. And these were documents relating to Britain's relations with the Argentine dictatorship, and many of them were to do with arms sales and military visits. So for example, I'm going to try and share my screen now. Let's see if that works. Admiral Macera was the head of the Argentine Navy, a member of the junta, a notorious figure. He was the architect of the Dirty War. He was responsible for a notorious torture center in Buenos Aires. Well, he came to Britain in 1978. He met the head of the British Navy, Admiral Sir Terence Lewin, and all the documents relating to that visit have been destroyed. So 4 years before the Falklands War, the head of the Argentine Navy, the head of the British Navy meet, and yet there's no record of that, that meeting. And I find that incredible. I mean, it's one thing, for example, censoring documents or keeping them closed. So lots of the documents relating to British interest in oil around the Falklands, or British interest in Antarctica, large chunks are still censored or they're not open yet. But to actually permanently destroy documents, it begs the question, who on earth makes that decision? And I think it's something we need to have a debate about, because it really determines the type of history that you can write.